Imagine millions of federal workers staring at empty bank accounts, troops without pay, and beloved institutions like the Smithsonian shutting their doors, all because of a political tug-of-war that's dragging into its third week. This isn't just a headache for Washington. It's a real crisis hitting everyday Americans hard. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this shutdown a necessary stand on policy, or just a reckless game of chicken with the nation's well-being at stake? Stick around as we break down the latest twists in this unfolding drama. We're now deep into day 13 of the government shutdown, and the deadlock shows no signs of easing, promising to stretch into a third week without any breakthrough. This standoff kicked off on October 1st, with Democrats and Republicans pointing fingers at each other for the gridlock. Vice President JD Vance didn't mince words, labeling the Democrats' stance as outright hostage-taking, a charge that's sure to stir up heated debates among political watchers. The Senate is gearing up to return to business on Tuesday, where they'll likely cast another vote on a funding bill that the House already approved. This measure has hit the wall 7 times already, falling short of the crucial 60-vote supermajority needed to pass. Senate Republicans have been scrambling to rally more support from the Democratic side, but so far it's been a no-go. Democrats are holding firm, insisting they won't support reopening the government unless there's an extension of health insurance tax credits, a key provision that's set to expire. For beginners wondering what that means, these tax credits help make health insurance more affordable for many families, acting like a financial boost from the government to cover premiums. Without them, millions could face skyrocketing costs, so it's no surprise this is a sticking point, sparking fierce arguments on both sides. Adding fuel to the fire, the Trump administration revealed on Friday that layoffs are in motion due to the shutdown. In a court document, they noted that 7 federal agencies have started sending out reduction in force notices, essentially pink slips, to over 4,000 employees. President Trump stepped in decisively on Saturday, posting on Truth Social that he's ordering Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to tap into every available resource to ensure our troops get paid by October 15. I will not allow the Democrats to hold our military and the entire security of our nation hostage, he declared, using funds from the prior fiscal year, around $8 billion, to make it happen. This move is a relief for service members who were on the verge of missing their first paychecks in a shutdown, but it leaves other federal workers still waiting for their salaries until the impasse ends. For context, this mirrors past shutdowns where military pay was prioritized as a humanitarian exception, showing how even in crises, some priorities trump others. Meanwhile, the Smithsonian museums, research centers, and the National Zoo all closed their doors on Sunday because of the funding freeze. They'd been relying on carryover funds from previous years to stay open until October 11th. But now visitors are out of luck. A tangible example of how shutdowns ripple out to cultural and educational experiences that families enjoy. House Speaker Mike Johnson pulled no punches on Monday, slamming Democrats for indulging in costly political games during a news conference. He framed this as the Democrats' Schumer shutdown, referencing Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and accused them of deliberately withholding pay for 2.2 million federal workers and freezing vital services. At least they tried to block those checks to the military, Johnson added. But President Trump, with his strong leadership, ensured our troops will be paid on October 15th. He and the president had a lengthy chat before Trump headed to the Middle East, both expressing frustration over what they see as Democrats' willingness to inflict damage for political gain. We can hardly believe they're willing to go along with this, Johnson lamented, arguing the shutdown was avoidable and rooted in Democrats' lack of leadership, vision, or direction. Johnson emphasized that the House has fulfilled its duty by approving a funding bill through November 21st, and he's urging 5 more Senate Democrats to cross party lines to hit that 60-vote mark. We're barreling toward one of the longest shutdowns in American history unless Democrats drop their partisan demands and approve a clean budget, he warned. With the House skipping votes again this week, its last session was on September 19th. Johnson said they'll reconvene Only when Democrats come to their senses. This should end tomorrow, he insisted, ratcheting up the pressure. On the military front, Trump's directive seems to have averted a major disaster. A Pentagon spokesperson confirmed that leftover funds from the last fiscal year would cover the mid-month paychecks if needed. The October 15th deadline was seen as a potential turning point, potentially forcing negotiations to prevent unpaid troops. Some lawmakers advocated for specific legislation to fund the military, as done in previous shutdowns, but GOP leaders didn't back it. Other federal workers, though, remain unpaid until resolution. President Trump, when asked about the situation on Air Force One on Sunday, brushed it off saying, "We're taking care of it. We've got the military paid in full, and we're ending some programs that we don't want. They happen to be Democrat-sponsored programs. I think they made a big mistake." Vice President JD Vance echoed the administration's frustration on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan, calling Democrats' approach hostage-taking over a healthcare policy issue. Democratic leaders, led by figures like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, are calling for serious talks with Republicans and the White House to break the deadlock. Vance shot back that negotiations aren't on the table with someone taking the entire federal government hostage. Looking ahead, the Senate, after a holiday break on Monday, will vote Tuesday evening on the House's funding proposal. Republicans are still chasing additional Democratic votes after repeated failures, but only 3 Democrats have consistently sided with them, falling short of the needed 5 to reach 60. Most Democrats remain united in demanding the health insurance tax credits extension as a non-negotiable. Notably, Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky has voted against the bill every time. The House is staying in recess this week, with GOP leadership arguing they've done their part by passing the bill and shifting the onus to the Senate. Jeffries, however, summoned House Democrats back to Washington for a caucus meeting on Tuesday to strategize. Jeffries and Schumer stress that the path forward lies in negotiations, while Republicans insist the House bill is ready to go, no strings attached, and Democrats just need to support it. And this is the part most people miss. Beneath the blame and brinkmanship, this shutdown reveals deeper divides on what the government should prioritize: troops pay or healthcare affordability. Is extending tax credits a fair demand, or is it a partisan ploy? Do you think the administration's move to pay the military is heroic leadership, or a short-term fix that ignores the bigger picture? Share your thoughts in the comments. Are you on Team Democrats, Team Republicans, or somewhere in between? Let's discuss. Should politicians negotiate or just pass clean bills? Your opinions could spark a lively debate. This update is based on live developments as of October 13, 2025. For more, check out our government shutdown feature.